This is topic 9.2, which we're looking at market sectors and segments. And so this is just kind of definitional from the IB. So in order to identify the wants and needs of a target market, the designer has to identify which the target market is. And these can be considered in two ways. We're looking at market sectors and market segments. And you'll need to know the difference between these two things. And this is also something that we see in, I think, topic 4. Oh, sorry, topic 5. Okay, so a market sector is a broad way of categorizing the kinds of market the company is aiming for. So we're looking at broad. These are very large parts of the overall market. And so this video right here gives you a good idea of what each of these things breaks down into. You know, like what is a capital good? What is a basic material? What is technology, utilities, etc. So these are parts of the market right here. These are market sectors, and they are large parts of the market. We can kind of categorize market sectors in two ways. We have geographic sectors. So this focuses on the values, cultures, and characteristics of the purchasers in a region, along with purchasing power. And so, you know, for instance, this is just, you know, a quick example, but consumers, you know, their needs vary between climate regions. Where engine blocks heaters are used in Canada, they would be little use in Egypt. So like in Canada, where I grew up, at night you had to plug in your car. So you have a little plug that comes out of the front of your car. Or otherwise, the oil in your engine would freeze at night during the winter. But you know, you're not going to have to worry about that in Egypt. So that would not be something that is a consumer need in Egypt. But in Canada, it is definitely a consumer need. You need something like this, otherwise you cannot drive your car in the morning. So geographic sectors, they focus on those, you know, the purchasers in that particular region. So we have to think about that, and we have to pay attention to culture and characteristics of the purchasers in those regions. Okay, so that's a geographic sector. Then there's client sectors, and this focuses on the consumers, and we're looking at individuals, groups. This could be public sector or private sector. And so this is an example of a public sector, you know, good. It is a police car, and you know, it kind of goes with that famous example that, like, you know, this is a Ford, but you know, if you want a police car, well, you can get this one. Okay, you know, Ford said something about his Model Ts that the customers could have any color they wanted as long as it was black, right? Now, private sector people want different kinds of cars, and so in the private sector, you're going to have a larger choice of the kinds of cars that you can buy compared to public sector. Public sector cars tend to look the same, and private sector cars tend to look different. So you can just look at Cow Security when you're thinking of this too. You know that all the Cow Security cars are basically the same, whereas the private sector ones around the community, there's much more diversity within the private sector. Okay, so we're looking at client sectors here. All right, now from the IB, you need to be able to identify products that are designed for only one sector and products that are designed for more than one sector. So here's an example right here. You know, this football cleat is designed for playing football on the field, right? Like you really couldn't take this in the gym and play basketball with this shoe, right? So this is designed for one sector of the market, right? Because it's you know, focused on one particular area. Whereas a shoe like this could be worn in multiple areas, right? Because you could wear this on the soccer pitch, but you could also wear this on a basketball court. Okay, whereas this would not be one. So that's kind of what we're talking about with being involved with more than one sector. Okay, you also need to understand that you'll need to develop an understanding of how multinational companies take into account market sectors in their design and manufacture of their products. So these are examples of geographic and client-based. We talked about that in previous slides, but you know, this is kind of interesting that, you know, in Google does this all the time. They sort of focus their little Google icon guys on different countries, right? Like, so they basically, you know, this is appealing to Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. This is appealing to Brazil. This is appealing to China. I hear M&Ms do this too. The color mix in M&Ms varies depending on the country you're in. With some countries having, for instance in China, there's more red in the mix, and in other countries there might be more green. So that's something to pay attention to. That markets actually, multinational companies pay attention to these market sectors, and they design and manufacture their products based on that. So it's something that they definitely take into account. All right, let's talk about market segments. So segments are markets. We divide markets into smaller segments where purchasers have similar characteristics and tastes. So the aim of segmentation is to identify a group of people who have similar needs that can be met by a single product or service. This allows for careful targeting of goods and services, and typically we're going to divide these using demographics. So you're going to focus on things like age, gender, lifestyle or profession, ethnic background, that's your culture, values, behaviors, location, income, marital status, family, stage of life, and physical characteristics. So this is ways of creating market segments. So these are smaller. It's still a market, but what you're doing is dividing that market into smaller segments. And I've got some examples of that. So the IBO wants you to, it says students will need to demonstrate understanding how the needs of market segments listed above, so that was in the last slide, those things, have an impact on the design of a product and the scale of production. So, income's an easy one to kind of play with here. So like, for instance, there's a high-end, expensive pen company called Montblanc, and they target their market segment to middle and high income earners and businessmen and women. So you're looking at people who have money. The pens are pretty expensive. The cheapest pen I found on their website was 1,400 SAR, but they go up from there. I mean, they can be tens of thousands of SAR. And when you're producing these pens, you're going to produce them in what we call batch production. So this is manufacturing products. They're made with specific groups or amounts within a time frame. So, Montblanc will batch produce a group of pens. Obviously, they're probably going to produce more of their cheaper pens and less of the more expensive pens. But they will batch produce those, and for a limited time. And then you can buy those on their website or at stores and stuff like that. You always see them in airports. But you're not going to find them, in like, the Tamimi stationery aisle. What you will find there is like Bic pens. So Bic pens, you can buy 60 of them, and they cost like $15. And these are going to be mass produced. So you're going to just be, making as many of these as the market can handle. So and this is large quantities. They're standardized, and they use assembly lines or automation technology. So those are two different ways. So if I'm Montblanc, then I'm going to be targeting a market segment which is for higher earning and usually business people. And then if I am Bic, I might be targeting lower income. I might be targeting people who just companies, things like that, schools. So I'm mass producing these pens, right? So batch production for Montblanc, mass production for Bic. Now, we also have something called product families, and a product family is a group of products having common character or classification criteria. Members normally have many common parts and assemblies. We'll go back to Bose here real quick. So Bose, all the Bose headphones are going to have similar sort of technology in them, and they're going to have a different product family, right? So you can have these for listening to music or maybe airplanes, these for working out. So you're going to have different product lineups. Here's another example of product lineups right here, where you have, this is the Coke family of products, and so you can see all of the different types of Coke products that exist. And so that's a product family. It's a group of products having common classifications. These are all drinks, right? Now there's different kinds of drinks within these, but they're all basically sugary drinking products. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.